Glad you join us on Nationwide on the network service of the Nigerian Television Authority. We're reaching you from Abuja. I am Ronke Kolawole. The National Broadcasting Commission, NBC, says it will remain steadfast to ensure that digital switchover is successful in Nigeria. Director General Ishak Modibo said this while reacting to query by the Independent Corrupt Practices and Other Related Offences Commission, ICPC, over 2.5 billion naira paid to our signal distributor, Pinnacle Communications Limited, is justifiable, Adebola Brookston Sunday reports.
Integrated Television Services, ITS, and Pinnacle Communications Limited are the two licensed signal distributors in Nigeria in the rollout of digital switchover, reacting to the allegation that it paid Pinnacle 2.5 billion naira as against 1.7 billion naira paid ITS. Modibo Kawu said it acted in accordance with the provisions of the white paper guiding digital switchover in the country.
That NTA, with 157 transmission sites spread across the country as potential signal distributor, has a significant advantage. Then C, directed that the National Broadcasting Commission should put in place necessary conditions and ensure that close to level playing field is achieved. That's the clause that we used.
The NBC board said the migration process is in line with the executive order on local contents.
It was a process designed by Nigerians. We didn't get some foreigners telling us how to do it. And because of the amount of work we've done, the amount of controversies we've been able to surmount, other African countries are learning from the Nigerian experience.
To ascertain the quality of the equipment installed, NTA News visited the Impape sites of Pinnacle, where it found out that the transmitters are liquid-cooled DVB-T2 and its control room for quality of signals being transmitted.
We actually moved into this transition without a dime. And because we believe in this government, we were only paid 6.5 months after installation of Papi and Kaduna. And as you can see from the monitoring here, look at the quality. Ask questions, we're here. So we've been on, we've not gone off air for 1 minute.
Digital switchover was only on paper before the Buhari administration came on board, who ensured the implementation in 2014, and 6 states have been commissioned with 6 orders slated for early 2019. Adebola Brookston Sunday, NTA News.
And talking security now, the Nigeria Police Force has refuted the claims that the death of Michael Adiku, a dismissed policeman and ex-convict and a sectional gang leader who confessed to have killed 22 persons, including a pregnant woman and 9 police personnel during a bank robbery, vindicates the Senate President, Bukola Saraki. A statement signed by the Force Public Relations Officer, Acting DCP Jima Moshood, said all the 5 suspects that indicted and implicated Senator Bukola Saraki are alive and are in court, noting that evidence from 5 suspects are enough to prosecute the Senate President. The Nigeria Police Force stated that Michael Adiku was not murdered but slammed and died in detention while investigation into the bank robbery was ongoing. The police reiterated that the deceased was among the 5 gang leaders and indicted and implicated the Senate President. In the meantime, the Commissioner of Police FCT Command, Balachi Roma, says the command is putting in place adequate measures to ensure maximum security within the Federal Capital Territory and its environs. He said this while speaking on NTA's flagship program, Good Morning Nigeria Today. Abdusalam Jibril reports that the Commissioner of Police and other guests discussed challenges of security in the FCT.
Security, whether for an individual, a community, a state, or at national level, has always been a challenge for governments all over the world. In light of the current security challenges in the FCT, the Commissioner of Police, Balachi Roma, reassured residents that security is being improved upon to safeguard lives and properties within the nation's capital.
The security situation in Abuja is stable. Yes, you have reports, 1 or 2 reports, which is normal. We've put in place measures to ensure that maximum security is provided in Abuja.
Other guests on the program, while noting that security is relatively stable, called for the adoption of technology and synergy among security agencies to adequately curb insecurity in the FCT.
The reality is that our national security architecture is state-centric, and that means, of course, attention and priority is given to the city more than the locations outside the city, the perimeter.
As things are presently, the number of police operatives, both uniform and undercover agents, are grossly inadequate to police Abuja and its satellite settlements.
They also stressed the need for adequate policing in informal settlements and advised FCT residents to be security conscious at all times. In Abuja, Abdulsalam Jibril, NTA News.
Still on security, the visit of the Minister of Defense, Mansour Dan Ali, to South Africa in 2016 to activate the implementation of a memorandum of understanding to strengthen synergy on military operations is gradually yielding results. This is evident with the establishment of a fully functional Defense Industries Association of Nigeria and Defense Industries Corporation of Nigeria. Participants are hopeful that the 4th Nigeria-South Africa Defense Committee meeting will not only strengthen bilateral relations between both countries, but also serve as a boost in military intelligence and hardware.
To produce some of the modern military hardwares within the country.
These two countries have got great responsibility. We may not agree at all times on how to implement this and that, but I think we agree that there is a lot of responsibility that we carry that is designed to improve the conditions of stability and peace on the continent.
The Nigerian Air Force seeks to establish strategic partnership with the Ministry of Science and Technology on research and development capacity building to further enhance its duty of maintaining security. Chief of Air Staff Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar made this known when he paid a visit to the Minister of Science and Technology, Ogbonaya Onu. Justin Bem-Onyi reports.
The Nigerian Air Force believes Nigeria has capacity within which can be explored effectively in the area of research and development to achieve the set goals of security for the country. And the team led by the Air Marshal was at the Science and Technology Ministry to identify areas of competence as it wants to build its capacity through the different relevant departments and agencies under the ministry.
As we move forward to mobilize every capacity we have in this country to support our efforts as a service in terms of aircraft maintenance, in terms of communication, in terms of all other things that we require to be effective as an Air Force, so that we can be more effective in the discharge of our responsibilities and in dealing with the security challenges that we are facing.
Minister of Science and Technology is willing to collaborate as he assured unalloyed support to ensure the Nigerian military starts looking inwards to be self-reliant for capacity.
Because what we are looking at now is how do we target as far as concerned is of great importance, and all we do is just to redirect our efforts, to make sure that we meet, those needs.
The minister proposed a committee to be set up to draw out focus areas of collaboration, which will require certain agencies to handle the areas of need. Justin Bem-Onyi, NTA News.
This is NTA Nationwide. Lagos is our first port of call, and Dotun is standing by with stories from the zone. Hello, Dotun. It's over to you.
And welcome to Lagos. 40 containers of tramadol and other pharmaceutical products with a duty-paid value of 7.3 billion naira has been intercepted by Apapa Area Command of the Nigeria Customs Service. Comptroller General of Customs, Hamid Ibrahim Ali, who conducted journalists around the seized items, described the feat as crucial to the nation's economy. Paul Omukago has details.
This is the highest seizure of tramadol drugs made by the Apapa Area Command of Nigeria Customs Service. The question here is, what would have been the fate of users if these drugs had found their way into different outlets around the country? Concerned about the volume of seizures and the reported attempts to influence officers with $412,000, the Comptroller General, Colonel Hamid Ibrahim Ali, disclosed that suspects remotely connected to the crime will be prosecuted after investigations.
Most of these drugs, if they had found their way into this country, will eventually end up in the hands of the thugs. And this is not brought in by foreigners. This is brought in by our own fellow Nigerians.
3 suspects linked to the seizures and the dollars offered as inducement to officers were displayed to the media. The Comptroller General also undertook an inspection of 6 bags of foreign rice at the Federal Operations Unit, Zone A, Ikeja. In the same vein, he showed the media trailer load of tramadol tablets and the money offered officers by suspects.
This money was given in a bid to get this container released by our own officers. And in the course of doing that, our officers took the money and then reported. We have to go and set up a small task force for the clearance of this and give them the mandate and give them a time frame. These things must be evacuated as quickly as possible.
2 helicopters, one intended for export and the other imported from the United States of America, were among items impounded. In Lagos, Paul Omukagu, NTA News.
631 Aircraft Maintenance Depot has won the 2018 Nigerian Air Force Logistics Command Research and Development Competition. The unit designed an aircraft jacking system to excel every other competitors. Rotimi Oluwagbemi has the details.
Winner of 2018 Logistics Command Intact, may I invite the team leader of 631 Aircraft Maintenance Depots for their trophy.
Putting all your efforts in something and at the end of the day achieving a result like this makes us feel elated.
The Nigerian Air Force Research and Development Competition started in 2016. The theme for the 2018 competition is Enhancing Research and Development for Sustained Logistics Support in the Nigerian Air Force. Some of the projects on display at the competition include FM German and electronic patient call bell and aircraft jacking system. The Chief of Air Staff, Air Marshal Sadiq Abubakar, who was represented, lauded the motive behind the competition, which is aimed at improving the operational efficiency of the Nigerian Air Force.
This R&D competition is to gear us towards self-reliance. And one of the key components of attaining that feat is transfer of knowledge and skills.
The event featured presentation of certificates to all the participating units, while the team of examiner went home with gift. In Lagos, Rotimi Oluwagbemi, NTA News.
An initiative aimed at creating climate change awareness through media and entertainment has kicked off in Lagos. Jennifer Igwe reports that the campaign under the umbrella of the Climate Change Action Network is targeting those at the grassroots.
Extreme weather events, flooding, sea level rise, and drought are some of the impacts of climate change experienced in many parts of the country and beyond. The Climate Change Action Movement is intended to create awareness on how local communities can adapt to the impact of this phenomenon and understand necessary preventive measures. And the angle the campaign is exploring is media and entertainment.
we want to go to the community. It's a community-based project. Like the big shows, we want to try and bring that to the community so that we're able to get their attention. So if climate change is getting their attention to make them happy, they might begin to listen to us about the dangers of climate change and how urgent these threats are. So that's basically what we're doing. So the entertainment part is just to get their attention, and we also do the cleanup, exercise in their community.
We raise volunteers. We try to get young people to be aware of the situation and get them to commit to helping create awareness on the issue. And that is what this action is going to do.
Entertainers and sportsmen are key players in this climate change education initiative.
I will help in getting other entertainers. I will help in, or if it has to do with me doing a song about it, I will do that and get other people involved.
The Climate Change Action Movement is made up of non-governmental organizations with vision of promoting grassroots awareness on global warming and climate change. In Lagos, Jennifer Igwe, NTA News.
Time now to join Abdullahi Mohammed in our Kaduna Network Center.
Thanks for joining us here in Kaduna. The agencies and other critical stakeholders have concluded a town hall meeting in Kaduna with a view to minimizing youth involvement in election violence. The town hall meeting was a fallout of the Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps sensitization on the 2019 general elections.
Election violence does not only destroy lives and property, it is inimical to the sustenance of democracy. It is with a view to turn the tide of the scale of violence and spur the youth to reject the temptation of engaging in political thuggery that the NSCDC and its partners put together the town hall meeting. On the lips of many of the community and religious leaders was a watchword to the youths.
So I'm calling upon the youths that they should try to be the politicians themselves than living the whole their lives in following those people at talks.
Commandant, Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps Kaduna Command, Madu Bunu said the town hall meeting has produced a pool of ideas expected to be utilized in guiding the conduct of players in the 2019 elections.
Election is not a do or die affair. There's no need for any violence during this 2019 election. We need free, fair and credible election.
The Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps and its partners expect participants to drive home the message and far-reaching decisions reached at the meeting.
Moving on to defense matters now, participants at an international conference on counter-insurgency in the Boko Haram phenomenon have advocated need for Nigerians to step up on credible information sharing to relevant security agencies. From Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa reports.
For almost 10 years now, the major security challenge being faced by Nigeria is the Boko Haram insurgency. The incessant attacks by the terrorist group has claimed thousands of lives, displaced millions of people and destroyed billions of naira worth of property. The problem also crippled economic and social activities in affected areas, mostly in the northeast. However, with the proactive measures put in place by President Muhammad Buhari, the activities of the insurgents have gone down drastically. As the Nigerian armed forces continue to record success in the war fronts, stakeholders are also recommending renewed approach towards achieving a lasting solution. It was in response to this that the Bayero University Center for Islamic Civilization and Interfaith Dialogue organized an international conference with the theme Insurgency and the Phenomenon of Boko Haram in Nigeria. It brought together scholars, traditional rulers, security experts, and political leaders from various parts of the country. President Muhammadu Buhari, whose message was delivered by the Minister of Interior, Abdurrahman Bello Dambazo, reassured the commitment of the federal government in making the nation's territory safe for all.
Government appreciates the many excellent ideas from citizens.
Education, addressing climatic issues, especially around the Chad Basin. Governors Abdullah Umar Ganduji of Kano and Muhammad Abdullah Abubakar of Bauchi states assured of more support to President Buhari's approach to the Boko Haram and other security challenges facing the country. In Kano, Abdullah Mustafa, NTA News.
And back in Kaduna, we're going to take a look at gender matters now. Jama'atu Nasrul Islam has joined in the call of women to take up leadership role in national development. Majama Adamu reports that this came to the fore at a conference organized by the group in Kaduna.
Ask those with close ties with the average Nigerian Muslim woman like Halima Jubril, and you can be sure of response like this.
More than 80% of Nigerian Muslim women are ignorant about the roles they are expected to play as homemakers, as educators of the next generation, in line with Islamic principles.
This international conference with the theme Women Between Future Aspirations and Contemporary Challenges is convened by the Jama'atu Nasrul Islam to awaken the Nigerian Muslim woman to take a center stage in reshaping the destiny of the Nigerian woman.
They have a role to play and they have a contribution to make in all the levels of the management and governance in our dear country.
There is the need also to assist women by men, and there is also the need to make women come out in the public limelight.
Professor Ahmad Hussein Ibrahim of Al-Azhar University, Cairo, Egypt, presented the lead paper in which he extolled the role of women in the rise of global Islamic civilization. Islam, he says, celebrates the dignity of the woman and places on her the crucial obligation of nurturing and training of effective leaders, as well as partaking in development affairs of our society. A cross-section of women in attendance are in agreement with the objective of the conference and the obligation on them to rise to the challenge of pushing the Muslim woman to the front stage of self-actualization. In Kaduna, Majama Adamu, NTA News.
Many thanks, Majama. There will pause for a short break. Ronke will continue nationwide in Abuja thereafter, so don't go away.
Hate speech is not a joke. It incites genocide and crimes against humanity. Most of Africa's civil wars are caused by hate speech from one tribe against another. We don't want it here. The Nigerian government stands firm against hate speech.
Under no conditions whatsoever should we tolerate or excuse or justify hate speech or hateful conduct of any kind, especially where such is illegal.
There's no doubt that the resurgent push for separatism, as well as the rising cases of ethnic and religious disharmony, are all traceable to the growing phenomenon of hate speech.
One nation bound in freedom, peace and unity.
Nigeria, one nation, one people.
This is a public service announcement.
My name is Mr. Fasina David Akinola, the headmaster of this school, community primary school. Since my 35 years in service, there is no federal government which have laid their hands upon this feeding program. And I encourage the federal government of this Nigeria to continue in this laudable program, being helpful to the masses.
My name is Mrs. Ogundare. I have a child in this school. I really enjoy this program because I benefit much on it as a mother.
My name is Akshade Victor. Community Poem School, Alawiwe Ibadan. I like to love rice and egg. It makes me happy and healthy.
Into your sanctuary, we've come to adore you, Lord. Into your sanctuary.
Hurrah! Hurrah! St. Anne's is 50.
Join us as we celebrate the Golden Jubilee of St. Anne's Secondary School, a premier all-female college where women of distinction are bred, as we lay the foundation stone of an ultra-modern one-story dormitory building and 100 million naira pay phone launching.
There's also going to be awards of distinction at the Golden Jubilee of St. Anne's Secondary School, Otukpo. Date
22nd to 25th of November 2018.
Venue
St. Anne's Secondary School, Otukpo, Benue State.
Come, let's celebrate St. Anne's Secondary School, Otukpo at 50.
And a light.
Action.
Not words.
This message is powered by the Central Planning Committee.
We thank you, Lord.
2019 elections are coming. Do not let yourselves be used by politicians. Do not allow your emotions go haywire. Do not be a tool to cause mayhem. No election matter is worth the destruction of lives and properties. Be wise. Don't be a violent Nigerian youth. Don't get involved in any act of violence. Your future is at stake. Shun violence during elections. This message is from the National Orientation Agency.
Thanks for staying with us on Nationwide. President Muhammadu Buhari has promised to sustain efforts at fighting corruption, addressing challenges of security, and significantly enhance the economy, describing such issues as critical to national stability and prosperity. The president said this while granting audience to APC leaders and stakeholders from Benue State, led by former governor of the state, Senator George Akume, on a solidarity visit.
I assure you that my main interest is all Nigerians in all parts of Nigeria. Therefore, anybody who tries to create any impression that I prefer any group across ethnicity or religion, let him dare me by being caught red-handed stealing public funds. Jailing some of the people, I think, will remind those who are sitting there that they may not get away with it finally. How can you go to sleep when your workers haven't been paid for 6 months? They have to pay rent, they have to look after the family, they have to pay school fees, they have to pay health care, and people still go to sleep and they invest the money elsewhere. We are very proud of what we achieved with the resources available to us. I assure you that the bailout we have given for the salaries and the relief of ordinary Nigerians will continue to tell the governors to pay their salaries and not to cause any diversion. I'm quite aware of what is happening. I'm doing my best through the legal ways to stabilize the situation. But as I said, our campaign objective remains the same: security, economy, and fighting corruption.
Also, the Senior Special Assistant to the President on National Assembly Matters, Senate Ita Enang, says the Buhari administration has assented to the highest number of bills since Nigeria's return to democracy in 1999. The presidential aide, during a briefing at the National Assembly, explained that President Muhammadu Buhari has maintained the best constitutional approach to bills transmitted to him. Senator Enang also explained that the Electoral Act Amendment Bill transmitted to the President on the 8th of November has been examined.
President, you'll agree with me that to the credit of the National Assembly and to the greater credit of Mr. President, this administration and this President has assented to the highest number of bills in the history of this republic from 1999.
He stated that the president, since assumption on office in 2015, has considered more than 100 bills. And now, South Students' Assembly has declared support for President Muhammadu Buhari's ongoing anti-corruption campaign and his re-election to office in 2019 general election. The students made their position known when they visited the Buhari Support Organization office in Abuja.
We are very much appreciative to His Excellency Mr. President for his commitment towards revamping the education sector of Nigeria, and to be able to continue in such development. The South Student Assembly, under my able leadership by God's grace, was here to meet with the Buhari Support Organization and to make the students' interests known.
The President is very much interested in education, and I've explained all the directives he has given in the education sector, that just recently he ordered the removal of money from the source for the UBEC, the Universal Basic Education Commission, which has been transferred to the Commission by way of making sure that all states have paid their counterpart funding so that they will have available money for projects in the education.
The South Students' Assembly say they will ensure President Buhari wins convincingly in the South by taking the anti-corruption crusade to all campuses in the region. Meanwhile, the All Progressives Congress Broom Platform Media Tour to bring to limelight achievements of the APC administration at all levels has taken off in Jigawa State. Muhammad Kazauri reports that the media tour was flagged off in Dutse with inspection of some developmental projects.
The Broom Platform is a support group of APC National Secretariat. It is a media-inclined specialist forum aimed at creating public awareness on the achievements of President Buhari and APC political office holders as a whole. The group first port of call is Jigawa State, where the team inspected federal and state government's infrastructural development strides. They include the ongoing Kano to Jigawa to Maiduguri Road project, Dutse to Kwanar Hukuma Federal Highway, and National Mass Housing Project.
We are going around the country now to make it evidential to Nigerians, because as we move on, there is a high level of misinformation by detractors and the opposition parties. So pictures don't lie. We're live now. We're live at this. We are live in Jigawa State. We are live at this point.
Skill acquisition program initiated and being executed by APC government in the state. Receiving the group on behalf of the state governor, Deputy Governor Ibrahim Hassan Hadeja says the state is fully satisfied with President's development plan for the state and will ensure APC victory at all levels.
We see ourselves as a reflection of what is happening at the federal government. When you talk about agriculture, we embrace the farm mantra of the president. When you talk about finishing heritage infrastructure, that has been our watchword despite pressure.
The inspection continues with agricultural sites. From Dutse, Awal Muhammad Kazaure, NTA News.
Away from that, the next story says the Nigeria Television Authority, NTA, says is committed to providing a level playing ground for political parties in the country. The Executive Director News, Mohammed Labo, said this while receiving members of the National Conscience Party, NCP, on a courtesy visit to the NTA. Mohammed Labo explained that the NTA will continue to focus on its role of providing excellent television services to the country and fair coverage of the 2019 elections. The presidential aspirant of the NCP acknowledged NTA's balanced and professional coverage of political activities of all political parties and deliberate efforts to unite the country. The NCP is contesting in all positions in the forthcoming general elections.
Putting Nigeria in a united entity, and that we appreciate.
The federal government is to establish 2 additional satellites to support the Nigeria communication satellite. Minister of Communications Adebayo Shitu, who disclosed this at the 6th regular meeting of the National Council on Communication Technology holding in Abuja, said this is towards boosting the telecommunications industry while using ICT as a means of economic diversification. Leko Agbonde reports.
The importance of technology in the development of any economy cannot be overemphasized, and federal government of Nigeria had continued to explore the technology sector as veritable instrument to drive the economy. Minister of Communications Adebayo Shitu says government under the leadership of President Muhammadu Buhari is taking advantage of the potentials that abound in technology to create employment, engage the youth positively, and improve the IGR of government.
NECOMSAT has 1 satellite as of today. We are making effort to the extent that we want to acquire 2 more satellites. We have negotiated with the Chinese, funding agency. They have agreed to fund it to the tune of $550 million.
Ogun State Governor Ibikule Amosun, while enumerating how the state government has deployed ICT to raise the bar in driving the economy, promised to do more.
We are aligned with the ideas behind the NCCT and are therefore proud to host this meeting to exchange ideas.
Postmaster General BC Adegbuyi enjoins stakeholders to leverage on the opportunities that technology provides to solve human problems.
We're leveraging on technology to reposition the post to assist in achieving the Sustainable Development Goals of United Nations.
The theme of the meeting is leveraging on ICT as veritable vehicle for economic recovery and growth. In Abeokuta, Lekan Agbonde, NTA News.
FRC and Southwest Summit, a political process. This and other stories as we join Kemi in Ibadan. Hello, Kemi. Happy weekend to you.
Hello, Ronke, and a warm welcome to Ibadan. Participation in political process is the fundamental right of everyone, which must be built on tradition of respect and promotion of human dignity and common good. This was the consensus at the Southwest Zonal Summit by the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria. Correspondent Oyinka Omoli has details.
As 2019 general elections gather momentum, the Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, Ibadan National Station, organizes a political summit to appraise the present political process and come up with informed opinion ahead of the polls. Although the gathering faulted current political process in Nigeria for allowing selfishness and negligence of human dignity, the need to reverse the trend is critical.
We know what is trending now, hate speech. We want to, as much as possible, through this medium, pass to members of the public that they should be wary of such.
I think we need to take a look at the political arrangements in this country. What should be the relationship between the government and the citizen?
For political office seekers to see themselves as applicants before the electorate and be accountable, the summit agreed that religious leaders and other stakeholders have responsibility to set a new agenda for political office holders in the interest of the masses. The summit was the first in the zone in Ibadan. Oyeyinka Omole, NTA News.
And in line with the federal government's drive towards a sustainable environment, Nigerians have been urged to embrace the use of liquefied petroleum gas for domestic cooking. To this end, residents of Ibadan have been sensitized on the safety and benefits of cooking gas. Ayomiku Ajibola completes the report.
Despite the advantages of using liquefied petroleum cooking gas, LPG, which includes efficiency, precise temperature control, immediate eating and cooking, low operating cost, among others. Statistics, however, revealed that of about 180 million Nigerians, only about 1.8 million have adopted the use of cooking gas in their homes.
People feel that gas is dangerous. Even some landlord in the past will not allow you to use gas in the house. We want to burn down my house.
My parent has warned me not to use it because of the disadvantage, and it's very dangerous.
I don't use it at all because I don't want to die young. Something that is to explode anyhow.
Stakeholders attribute this to poor awareness, accessibility, availability, regulation, customer behavior, and safe handling.
We have no worries regarding the safety of cylinders, so long as they are certified cylinders.
On challenging facing the sector,
it's only in Nigeria that I see that you VAT what you produce and allow the imported LPG not to be VATed.
The program, which featured discussion by panelists on the way forward for the sector, was also characterized by distribution of free cylinder by the association to some beneficiaries.
I'm happy, I'm grateful.
I know they thank you for them. God bless them.
In Ibadan, Ayomiku Ajibola, NTA News.
Inspector General of Police Ibrahim Idris flagged off the police welfare housing scheme in Ibadan with a charge on beneficiaries to redouble their efforts at ensuring safety of lives and properties. Correspondent Rofia Animashan Badmus has details.
The flag-off of Ibrahim Kotum Idris Housing Estate is part of the initiative of the IGP to accelerate all issues that advance the welfare of police officers, such as promotion, prompt payment of salaries, entitlement, and provision of affordable housing estates. Beneficiaries of these new housing units cut across the state command of the sector at affordable prices and to deliver 500 houses at the first phase in Ibadan.
In order to get the best out of them, the Inspector General of Police decided to address this issue. And how do we address it is by identifying with developers who can give us a moderate house that can be affordable.
Beneficiaries were given certificates of allocation.
I've just appreciated the Almighty God, and my appreciation also goes to our boss, the Inspector General of Police.
The housing scheme is specifically allocated to 7 junior cadre officers and post-retirement accommodation for retirees in Ibadan. Rafia Animashao, Badmus, NTA News.
In Abuja for more on Nationwide.
Thank you, Kemi. About 7,000 petty traders benefited from an economic enhancement scheme introduced by the Kano State government to support their small businesses. Abdullahi Mustafa reports that the beneficiaries drawn from the 44 local government areas of the state received entrepreneurship training and financial support under the initiative.
Kano State government disbursed 134 million naira to 6,873 beneficiaries who are mostly petty traders operating in motor parks. This is to enable them remain key players in microeconomic development of the state.
So that means an expansion in terms of the trade you are doing. And our prayer and hope is that in the near future, these youth will be fully engaged, they will be self-reliant, and they will be able to have their own family.
Mustafa Usman is one of the beneficiaries who described the initiative as an opportunity for him to actualize his dream of becoming a successful businessman and employer of labor. The Economic Enhancement Scheme, which is part of Kano State government's Economic Empowerment Program, targets 1 million beneficiaries before the end of May 2019.
So far, we have provided over 700,000 jobs in Kano State.
Another round of economic empowerment will comprise 4,500 youth on GSM repairs and will be drawn from the 44 local government areas of the state. In Kano, Abdullahi Mustafa, NTA News.
From Kano, we go to Zamfara, where Sadia has a report on security update and other stories. Hello, Sadia.
Okay, welcome to Sokoto. The Nigerian Army's bombardment of armed bandits and their hideouts in Zamfara state has kept them on a constant run. They are now incapable of launching coordinated attacks on communities in parts of the state. Acting Director Defense Information Brigadier General John Agim said this in Gusau while speaking on the successes of the ongoing Operation Sharon Daji. Jamil Ibrahim has the report.
The Operation Sharon Daji by the military in Zamfara state is mainly aimed at flushing out armed bandits, cattle rustlers and kidnappers, terrorizing the rural communities across the state in some local government areas of neighboring Kaduna, Katsina, Kebbi and Sokoto states.
These patrols have so far yielded significant successes as a lot of criminals have been intercepted and illicit arms recovered. 20 bandits were neutralized, while 21 suspects arrested are helping with useful information.
Exhibits recovered from the suspects include 24 AK-47 rifles, 4,798 rounds of live ammunition, magazines, cartridges, locally made weapons, 55 motorcycles, cash and charm. In Gusau, Jamilu Ibrahim, NTA News.
Strengthening commitments of stakeholders to improve sensitization, routine immunization and antenatal care services will significantly reduce maternal and child death in Nigeria. Usman Abdullahi Shehu reports that the wife of the President Hajia Aisha Muhammadu Buhari stated this while flagging off the second round of maternal, newborn and child health week for November 2018 in Kebbi State. The report.
Nigeria is one of the countries with the highest rate of maternal and child death in the world. Regrettably, most of the causes of the death among the groups are preventable, and government at all levels in previous administrations came up with programs to address the challenge. But the gravity of the situation remains alarming. present administration in the country now conduct a biannual event of Maternal, Newborn and Child Healthcare Week in 36 states and FCT in May and November.
I would like to reiterate my unwavering commitment to join hands with stakeholders in the fight against preventable maternal and child mortality in Nigeria.
There are a lot of resources that are sometimes disconnected, and we hope that if we focus on them, if we bring it to the attention of the state governments.
If we just remember the maxim that we are our neighbors' keepers, that we have obligation to our neighbors. What is the children in the neighborhood doing? Is he fed well? Is he feeding well? Can I assist him? Can I refer him somewhere? Much better outcome can result.
There are about 2,000 volunteer workers of maternal and child health care in rural communities in Kebbi State. In Birnin Kebbi, Usman Abdullahi Shehu, NTA News.
That's our contribution from Sokoto. It's now back to Ronke in Abuja for the continuation of Nationwide. Good evening.
Thank you, Sadia. And talking education now, the West African Examination Council WAEC has released a total of 107,749 results of some of the candidates who wrote the examination. The result for private candidates 2018 second series was also announced in Calabar by the head African Examination Council, Mr. Oluwadeni Bekun. Maureen Leo Ajom has details.
The West African Senior School Certificate Examination for Private Candidates 2018 series was conducted in 5 member countries from August 14, 2018 to October 4, 2018. The coordination of examiners and marking of candidate scripts took place at 10 centers in Nigeria, while the West African Examination Council CBT Center in Lagos served as a venue for the electronic marking of 2 subjects.
Out of the 109,902 candidates that sat the examination in Nigeria, 63,037 candidates, representing 57.36%, obtained credits and above in a minimum of 5 subjects.
Candidates who took the examination are therefore directed to check details of their performance on the Council results website www.waecdirect.org using the result checker pin and serial number on the candidate's smart identity card used during the examination. Certificates of candidates whose results have been fully processed and released are expected to be ready within 90 days. In Calabar, Maureen Leo Ajom, NTA News.
We'd like to go on another commercial break. Do stay.
The National Council for Arts and Culture, Nigeria, cordially invites you to the closing ceremony of 11th International Arts and Crafts Expo, Abuja, INAC 2018, and the launching of International Cultural Diplomacy for Peace. Date, Saturday, 24th November 2018. Venue, FCT Exhibition Pavilion, beside International Conference Center, Abuja. Time, 5 p.m. Chairman of the occasion, Dr. Ogbonnaya Onu, Honorable Minister of Science and Technology. Special guest of honor, Mr. Tony Akiotu, CEO and GMD DA Communications. Royal Father of the Day, Alhaji Ismaila Muhammad, Serki Karshi. Mother of the Day, Dr. Mrs. Gloria Laraba Shoda, National President, National Council for Women Societies. Chief Host, Alhaji Lai Muhammad, Honorable Minister of Information, Culture and Tourism. Host and announcer, Otumba Olusegun Rushewe, Director General, National Council for Arts and Culture.
The inaugural Nigeria Diaspora Investment Summit holds on the 27th to the 29th of November 2018. Summit will take place at the Banquet Hall, Presidential Villa, Abuja, with the theme, Activating Diaspora Investments for a Diversified Economy. For registration, visit www.ndis.gov.ng. For participation in sponsorship details, please call. Email admin@ndis.gov.ng. The Nigerian Diaspora Investment Summit, harnessing Nigeria's investment opportunity.
Fake news which is shared for malicious purposes is a danger to our peace and security in Nigeria. Misinformation as fake news is a serious threat to our hard-earned democracy and promotes hatred and misunderstanding between our communities. We are all responsible. Source and credibility of any news item. Say no to fake news. This message is brought to you by the Federal Ministry of Information.
Join us every Saturday by 10 p.m. for Eye on the Road,
the program from the Federal Roads Maintenance Agency, FEMA.
We'll bring you highlights of policies and programs on road maintenance. You'll hear from road users as well as those charged with maintaining the roads.
It's interactive, it's informative, it's educative.
It's Eye on the Road, showing Saturdays at 10 p.m.
Nigeria, a land of promise, land of potential, rich in oil, arable land and solid minerals. Yet hunger, joblessness, homelessness and poverty are widespread. Over the years, Nigeria has suffered from hospitals without drugs, schools without teachers, and a huge infrastructure deficit. Clearly, we are yet to reach our full potential. And one of the reasons is because people choose bad leaders. Some even sell their conscience for a few thousand naira for 2019 elections. Don't sell your vote. Don't sell your future. Don't buy the people's lives. Vote selling is a crime against yourself. You will spend the next 4 years paying for it. Vote buying is against the law. Politicians, stop buying votes. People, stop selling your future. This message is from the National Orientation Agency.
We are glad you stayed. For 5 years now, the Halima Factor, a non-governmental organization, has been making use of literature and creativity to fish out young, talented Nigerians aimed at rebuilding the Northeast devastated by insurgency. Nafisa Omar Garuba reports that the Nigerian Television Authority was among some of the organizations honored at the 5th edition of the program, which has as a theme, literature and creativity, tools for human and economic liberation.
Themed Literature and Creativity, Tools for Human and Economic Liberation. The 5th Annual Gombe Literature Day, organized by Halima Factor Community Initiative in collaboration with Gombe State University and National Orientation Agency, is aimed at promoting creativity and talent among youth. Literature as a body of reading works that deals with imaginary works of creative art also function in criticizing and affirming cultural values. Individuals and groups consider it worthy in upholding those societal values by creating forums through which they are impacted.
The citizen of this great country, there's something I need to do, give back to the society, give back to the nation, and then encourage other people to do the same, because that's the only way. By the time we begin to give back to the society, that is when our nation will truly develop.
Speakers encourage reviving reading culture and held organizers for promoting creativity. Awards of recognition were presented to agencies including the Nigerian Television Authority.
The award is an honor done to the Director General of the NTA, and by extension the NTA family as a whole. We feel honored and proud to be part and parcel of this program, and we'll continue to be our best to ensure that programs of this magnitude receive the desired attention, and so that Nigeria will continue to remain one.
Student performance and unveiling of magazine featured during the event. In Gombe, Nafisa Umar Garba, NTA News.
Do you know that there are only 2 private universities in the Northwest Zone? A number key players noted is inadequate to cater for the daily increasing number of students seeking admission into tertiary institutions in the area. However, this narrative is about to change as a proposed private university is set to take off in Jigawa State. Given the importance of the project to the zone, sons and daughters of the state, led by traditional rulers, converged on the premises of the Nigerian Universities Commission for the collection of registration form for the proposed school.
We pray to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to
make this university a very big and shining example of commitment of some good northerners to changing our attitude of talking, grumbling, accusing our leaders, abusing everybody right, left, and center.
Jigawa State education indices are the lowest, one of the lowest, or maybe the lowest in the country. And it's not only the absence of private universities, we also have no private education presence at any level, commensurate with our population and our needs and aspirations. So starting a university at this very moment is indeed a great, great initiative that must be supported.
For the first 5 years of academic activities, the university is expected to run a conventional system with focus on agriculture and information and communication technology. Let's talk sports with Kene Emabudike.
The Touch of Unity for the 19th National Sport Festival continues its tour of southwest zone of the country. Ayomiko Ajibola reports that Deputy Governor Moses Adeyemo, who received the touch in Ibadan, charged the Oyo State contingent to emerge over